Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 321 based on novel. So let's start. A massive quantity of bloody air had gathered in the sky above Nine Remoteness World. Even Universe Knights couldn't venture in this place, the forbidden area of Nine Remoteness World. However, Mosha body teleported through it, his body flashing in the bloody air time and time again as he advanced toward the world below. I have to make it. As Mosha body rocketed through the layer of air, the giant circular dragnet searching for Luo Feng was steadily narrowing. A 39th one. Ha ha, the prince said, grinning. I told you that foreign invader is exceptional. How can an ordinary great being summon so many undying slaves? Your Highness, your intelligence is unquestioned, complimented one of his generals. It has almost been entertaining watching these undying slaves disguising themselves to try to get away, said the prince. I especially enjoyed the undying slave who hid another slave inside his world ring, and the one in the world ring started to flee when the undying slave carrying it was killed. Or the three slaves trying to strike different areas of the same defensive line all at once. Unfortunately for him, the prince added confidently, my 100 million warriors won't let him run off. That was surely his final gambit, the lanky Universe Knight said. Soon, he will be in an impasse, the other Universe Knight added. The prince nodded. The circle has narrowed to half its original size, and we have adequate warriors now. Half of the warriors shall follow the original plan while the other half start to advance regardless of whether meeting any intruders or not. I need them to scan the whole place as fast as possible. Fierceness flashed across the prince's eyes. Then even if the intruder sends his slaves, he can't slow my warriors from advancing. Both of the Universe Knights nodded. Indeed, as the circle being narrowed, the number of indigenous warriors soon appeared intimidating. With an order, half of the Sector Lord warriors and Undying warriors started to dash inward. No! Luo Feng, hiding in the wilderness, was stunned. He knew what was happening, thanks to the slaves he'd sent. They disregard my slaves and start to charge in, he said. What should I do? What should I do now? For the first time, Luo Feng grew fearful. Based on his previous calculations, he had abundant time. The only problem was how many undying slaves he would waste. But now, the undying slaves weren't able to slow down their advance, which meant big trouble. Come on! Luo Feng looked up at the bloody air in the sky. Hurry up! The dragnet was divided into an outer circle and an inner circle. Warriors in the outer circle were still following the original plan. Those in the inner circle, however, raced in, heedless of the intruders' slaves. Onward! Onward! Charge! Cried the army. One undying slave after another rushed out and broke from the circle easily. Barely any warriors even tried to stop them. After a day, tens of millions of warriors in the inner circle finished gathering. Your Highness, we've inspected every inch of the circle, said the lanky general. Follow my orders, said the prince. The inner circle will start to expand and get close to the outer one. At the same time, if anyone runs into any other race, kill it. No exceptions. The prince gave the order, and the circle shrank even smaller. The warriors were more concentrated than ever. Luo Feng was stuck in a trap. A pincer maneuver? Luo Feng clenched his teeth. I'll fight to the very end and squeeze the last bit of time for my Mosha body. It'll take him around 3 hours and 17 minutes to arrive, and I must make use of the time. Although that almighty Nine Remoteness Master owed Primal Chaos City leader a favor from Nine Remoteness Master was not to be spent frivolously. Luo Feng wouldn't use it unless he absolutely had to. As long as I can escape from the junior ones, Nine Remoteness Master will be too proud to attack me, Luo Feng thought. I've never heard of Nine Remoteness Master attacking an heir. He waved his hands, and 6 undying slaves appeared. They saluted Luo Feng and said, Master of my master. Follow my orders, Luo Feng said. Yes. All of the slaves took on the shape of Luo Feng and departed, following Luo Feng's command. Luo Feng sighed. He felt like he was going crazy. Pincer maneuvers and killing all the enemies at the same time was a good idea, but the time that elapsed was now insignificant compared to their steady advance toward Luo Feng. It wouldn't be long now. Your Highness, 2 circles will meet soon, and the other race won't be able to make it after that. The 2 Universe Knights were both looking forward to the result. The prince nodded mildly with a smile on his face. Like a rat in the trap. This was the final struggle. The undying invader's struggle pleased the prince. You really don't want to die, do you? The prince thought. Otherwise, you won't be putting up such a fight, knowing you're in a dead end. Alas, you'll be in my hands in the end, he muttered, and I'll see what skills you've got. The prince was eager for this moment. He hadn't had this much fun in his long life. Luo Feng looked up at the sky, and his fear turned to joy. A figure in the sky teleported and kept blinking. He dove down immediately and stopped. It was Mosha Body. It finally arrived. Luo Feng felt relieved and went into Mosha Body's world ring. Mosha Body shook, and black air surged. It transformed into an indigenous undying warrior with a red body and bloody horns. Even its aura was copied from one of the undying warriors that had chased Luo Feng when he first stepped into Nine Remoteness World. For more than a day, I performed the talent technique more than 100 times, said Mosha Body. I'm so exhausted. Mosha indigenous warrior's pressure was finally mitigated. He was too tired from the past day, as he hadn't been able to rest in the slightest. Even a universe knight couldn't stand such weariness. Luo Feng had an unbending will, and together with his desire for survival, he was able to make it. It'll take me around 11 minutes, and the inner encirclement will arrive sooner. Mosha indigenous warrior smiled. Unfortunately, you're late. Warriors in the inner circle and outer circle were pretty close, and they squeezed in to complete the final stage of the chokehold. Up in the sky, the prince floated, overlooking the boundless land. All the warriors bowed to the prince to show respect when they saw him. Ha ha! The final strangle. Each inch of this space will be occupied by my warriors soon. Let's see where he runs. The prince was overjoyed. Yet after only 20 minutes. Your Highness, my team has already searched everywhere, one of his generals reported. We didn't find that powerful other race. My team didn't find the other race either, reported another. We didn't find him, said the third. The generals reported to the prince immediately. What? How? The prince shouted at the generals in the virtual world. Your Highness, we found 83 suspects while searching, and our undying warriors jointly stimulated 9 remoteness world energies which can kill even a pinnacle emperor. Perhaps the undying other race is already dead. Yes, Your Highness. We've found a suspect, too. He's powerful and left lots of valuables after falling. He might be the one we're looking for. He must be that one, then, agreed another general. Reports from the 9 generals further infuriated the prince. No, that can't be him, the prince roared. The earliest report says this guy is even faster than a captain-level undying warrior. He's no ordinary great being. But we didn't find any other races. Go search. Find him at all costs. Yes. Yes, sir. The 9 Universe Knight generals could only comply with the furious prince's order. However, no matter how carefully they inspected the circle made by their armies, they couldn't find Luo Feng. Of course you can't find me, thought Mosha Body, disguised as an indigenous undying warrior. I'm one of you now. As the 100 million warriors continued searching under the order of the infuriated prince, Mosha Body flew far away. Each warrior was responsible for one area. The same rule applied to Mosha Body's indigenous warrior form. But instead of searching, he simply flew farther and farther away without turning back. No matter how fiercely the prince roared, none of the warriors could find Luo Feng. In the end, the prince reluctantly ordered the warriors to go back to their original positions. Mosha indigenous warrior was in no rush. With Mosha Body, I can conceal my aura and change my identity, he thought. They won't be able to find me. Besides, even if they find me, my talent technique domain can escape from even Universe Knights. Mosha Body was confident for a reason, as Universe Knights couldn't teleport themselves in 9 Remoteness World. The great beings couldn't teleport themselves, but Mosha Body could perform his talent technique domain. Who could possibly catch up with Mosha Body? Mosha Body flew in the sky for a long time, eventually coming across some indigenous warriors on his way, but none of them suspected him. They had no reason to suspect anything out of the ordinary. He looked away. A quiet indigenous city, he said. There isn't even a wall around it. There were plenty of buildings outside the city where lived lots of indigenous creatures with red bodies and bloody horns. The only wall was one towering one separating an inner portion of the city from the rest of it. Luo Feng presumed that some seniors and great beings lived in the inner city. Luo Feng walked calmly through 9 Remoteness World, a world filled with creatures looking for him. Many indigenous creatures lived in the buildings around him, and all of them had red bodies and bloody horns. Some were babies that only reached Luo Feng's knees, running around on the ground. Some of the older children were already fighting. The babies are at the Star Traveler level, and adults are automatically sector lords, Luo Feng thought, looking around. Almost all the indigenous creatures at normal height were sector lords. No wonder there were so many sector lords chasing me. This indigenous race is indeed powerful. Much more powerful than the Golden Horned race. It might be qualified as one of the most powerful races in the universe. Suddenly, he heard a voice. 3 indigenous babies were flying and frolicking. They flew quickly with their Star Traveler level power, and those small, bloody horns were almost cute. I was born in Ancestral Sea. You should regard me as your leader. You're indeed more talented since you absorbed the essence and were born in the Ancestral Sea, but that doesn't mean you can be undying. We were born in the Royal Sea, but we're still stronger than you. You don't want to obey me? Then I'll beat you until you do. Do you think we're scared of you? The 3 babies continued assailing one another with threats as they frolicked. Luo Feng thought to himself, they look like babies, but they are naturally intelligent, like golden horned beasts. Perhaps they can rival human teenagers. Born in the Ancestral Sea? Born in the Royal Sea? Absorbed the essence in the Ancestral Sea? Thoughts flooded Luo Feng's mind. Does that mean those indigenous creatures were not born to mothers? That sounds right. They are energy-based life forms, and energy life forms are quite different from others. It seems some indigenous creatures were born in the Ancestral Sea while some others were born in the Royal Sea. The Ancestral Sea sounds superior. Royal Sea. On my way here, I came across other indigenous creatures. I've heard about this prince, leading over 100 million warriors, who is trying to capture me. The prince has such a high status already, there must be a king or emperor above him. Questions flashed through Luo Feng's mind. Indigenous creatures saluted Luo Feng when they saw him. Luo Feng knew that in this indigenous world, undying great beings were highly respected. In the towering ancient city where countless indigenous residents lived. This ancient city was much larger than the one Luo Feng was touring. It was the home of the prince, as well as several Universe Knight-level generals who had palaces throughout the city, too. The prince wandered into the great palace, frowned, and clenched his teeth. Damn it, he growled. Damn it. All his servants quickly had fled, and he was the only one in the palace. They were frightened for their lives. They didn't know why their prince was so furious, but he had already executed 3 servants. They dare to laugh at me. Just because you become a Universe Knight sooner than me? And they think that undying fighter from another race can't get away, that I'm hallucinating. The prince gritted his teeth even harder. As the supreme being of this world, even Universe Knights revered him. Only his brothers dared provoke him. The 108 brothers constantly competed with each other, and his failure to encircle and trap the undying intruder couldn't be kept a secret. Thus, he was mercilessly ridiculed. I was not wrong. I was right. The prince waved his hand. The door closed. The servants outside didn't dare to make a sound. In the palace, a red light dimmed on the huge pillar, soaking the entire palace in a red glow. Father! Father? The prince raised his head and shouted, "Please show up, Father!" An invincible force permeated the palace, and 9 remoteness world energies started to gather. The servants outside didn't even notice the movement inside the palace as 9 remoteness world energies gathered, forming a huge, blurry face. "My child," said the giant head, looking down at the prince. "My father," said the prince, giving a salutation. Then he started to complain. "I led 100 million warriors to encircle and suppress an undying intruder from another race, and my warriors killed many undying slaves. Yet the undying intruder must still be alive. I even asked the 300 undying warriors who guard the 9 remoteness whirlpool at that time. Those who chased him said he was unbelievably fast. The slaves killed afterward were nothing like that. This confirms my suspicions. But. The prince clenched his teeth to prevent himself from stuttering with frustration. The giant head looked down and said in an apathetic voice, "But the Universe Knights under you, and your brothers, all think you're hallucinating, don't they?" "Yes," the prince said. "But you're not wrong," said the giant head. "But neither are they. 9 remoteness world energies can't detect this intruder, and that's why they think you're hallucinating." The giant head stared at the prince. But the intruder is indeed still alive. Alive? Really? The prince was overjoyed. I knew it. I knew he was exceptional the moment I learned of his speed. Exceptional, indeed, the giant head said coldly. How did he escape my army? The prince asked. He was curious about it, and it was also the issue his older brothers had questioned him about the most. Under 9 remoteness world energies, other races can do nothing but show themselves, said the giant head. Yet he eludes the army's efforts to find him. By all accounts, it would appear he has been killed already. You claim that he's still alive, so let me ask you this, how do you surmise that he got away? The prince was bewildered. Because he can disguise himself, said the giant head, looking down. He can camouflage himself as any creature of my 9 remoteness race. The prince said. He was excited to discover an answer, though he found it hard to believe. Then we need to kill him right now? How can we let him roam freely if he can camouflage himself? The giant head snorted, and the prince went silent. Although his father cared for him and his brothers, he was innately cold and indifferent. It was enough for him to care for his children. If the princes dared to ask too much of their father, however, they would be punished. Train harder, said the head. If you can become a universe knight like your brothers, I can take you outside to adventure. With that, the giant head disappeared. The prince took a deep breath. How lucky, he muttered. The prince was still in a panic. Realizing he had said something inappropriate, he quickly clamped his mouth shut. Such careless words were grounds for punishment. Universe Knight, he said. I'll achieve that. I will. Aggression filled the prince's eyes when he thought about this. It was a determination that came from an infinity of repression. None of the princes were allowed outside 9 remoteness world unless they became universe knights. Luo Feng walked among the buildings. He saw another group of babies playing in front of him. Come here. Luo Feng waved at one of them. He was the most jubilant and apparently the leader of the group. The baby ran towards Luo Feng and gave a salutation. Greetings, Undying, said Luo Feng, grinning. Were you born in the ancestral sea? Yes, the baby answered shyly and touched his horn. Luo Feng nodded. Based on what he had learned so far, indigenous creatures born in the ancestral sea were naturally stronger than those born in one of the royal seas. Generally, any who were born in the ancestral sea was automatically a leader. Tell me about the ancestral sea, Luo Feng said. An undying fighter who has never been to the ancestral sea. The baby looked excited, then continued, the ancestral sea is outside our world. Even if we were born in the ancestral sea, we can't go back once we enter this world. Only if we become undying will we have the chance to go to the ancestral sea through the 9 remoteness whirlpool. Luo Feng was dazed. Ancestral sea? 9 remoteness whirlpool? Outside? Is it the 9 remoteness ocean? Luo Feng couldn't help linking these two together. The ancestral sea is vast, the indigenous baby continued. It's boundless and right on top of our world. Rumor has it that it's larger than our world. Ha ha. Those born in the royal seas can't compare to us. There are 108 royal seas, but even the largest royal sea is nothing compared to the ancestral sea. The baby indulged in this grand verbiage and was obviously proud to be born in the ancestral sea. Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. The pieces were falling into place. It must be the 9 remoteness ocean. 9 remoteness space is actually 9 remoteness ocean with some islands on it, and 9 remoteness ocean has bred indigenous life forms. As these thoughts flooded Luo Feng's mind, he remained calm on the outside, saying, it's not that bad to be born in royal seas. Have you ever been to one of them? The baby shook his head. Never. He seemed to perceive the undying fighter in front of him to have been born in a royal sea, and he added, royal seas are not bad at all, especially the largest one. I'm still very young, but when I get stronger in the future, I can go there. Luo Feng suddenly understood everything. He can go there when he is stronger. It must be difficult for these indigenous warriors to leave this world to see the ancestral sea again. Since it is easier to see the royal seas, those must be located inside 9 remoteness world. What about them? Luo Feng asked, looking to the babies afar. He was still in his Mosha body, disguised as a creature of the indigenous race of 9 remoteness world. Which royal sea were they born in? Bayan Shell was also born in the ancestral sea, said the baby. It had a pair of bright eyes and articulated itself well. Everyone else was born in royal seas except Bay and Shell and me. Some of them were born in the large royal sea while some in the small royal sea. Luo Feng's Mosha body nodded. Make efforts and you can become undying in the future. He touched the baby's bloody horn with a smile. I see. The baby nodded. Mosha body turned around and planned to leave, but the baby looked at his back and bit his lip. Clearly, he wanted something more. Other babies came flying toward him. Leader, they said. Leader. How did it go, leader? Did that undying fighter recruit you as his disciple? Why are you even asking? One of them jeered. That undying fighter left. Of course he didn't recruit him. Other babies began discussing this. A long time ago, a golden horned beast who was only a child had almost destroyed the earth. Now, even these indigenous babies were intelligent. Shut up, the first baby shouted and looked at Mosha body's back with bitterness. He had thought that the undying fighter valued him and would be willing to recruit him as his disciple. That was why he had explained everything with such passion. Little did he expect that the undying fighter hadn't intended to do any such thing. The adults of this race were sector lords by default. There were numerous sector lords but only a few undying fighters. In the army, for every 1,000 sector lord warriors, there was only one undying warrior. Given that most of the creatures were not qualified for the army, the proportion compared to the overall population was even smaller. Only after being taught by an undying fighter could one be guaranteed a bright future. Why didn't he recruit me as his disciple? Is it because I was born in the ancestral sea while he was born in royal sea? The baby leader clenched his teeth. Humph! I was born in the royal sea, which makes me nobler. Someday, I, my Shell, will become an undying fighter, a captain or even a general. Mosha body wandered casually through the indigenous city. He could clearly hear chatting among 10,000 indigenous creatures and integrated the information. Suddenly, he heard a conversation about 108 princes. Mosha body, carefree a moment prior, was suddenly dazed. 108 princes? And 108 royal seas? Mosha body thought, standing still. Ancestral sea and royal sea. 108 royal seas and 108 princes. Do the royal seas have something to do with the princes? Mosha body felt encouraged. If the royal seas and the princes are connected, then the ancestral sea must be connected to the 9 remoteness master. That's right. Teacher said before that 9 remoteness master is invincible in 9 remoteness space. Perhaps 9 remoteness master can utilize the power within that 9 remoteness ocean. That's a sea with a diameter of over 10 light years. It's so forceful that it might even be the 5-colored Aurora Lake's rival. He's truly invincible if he can use the ocean's power. The more Mosha body thought about it, the more excited he got. Another thought struck his mind. Why is every prince correlated with a royal sea? Were they born together? Does that mean every prince was born with a royal sea? If my third body can be born with a royal sea like those princes. 108 princes, and based on my information, some of the princes are universe knights, some are undying fighters, and others are sector lords. The princes are of royal blood, and they even have universe knight guards, which would make it difficult to get their genes. If a prince is, indeed, so gifted, then I'll use the favor 9 remoteness master owes my teacher to acquire my third body. Mosha body sorted out his mind instantly. Based on the information at hand, this seemed likely. The numbers matched perfectly. Besides, 9 remoteness master was undefeatable in 9 remoteness space. It was likely that these facts were related. The princes could be regarded as weaker versions of 9 remoteness master. Those indigenous creatures did say the princes were immortal. Mosha body continued gathering information by traveling the city and eavesdropping for 2 days. Based on what he knew, the indigenous children were indoctrinated. He heard comments such as, "You must be loyal to your emperor and your princes." And, "The emperor and princes are holy." Or, "Fight for your emperor. Fight for your princes. It's your duty and your glory." The more information Luo Feng gathered about the emperor and the princes, the more curious he got. Eventually, he decided it was time to meet again with Primal Chaos City leader. In the virtual universe, at the apex of Thunder Island. In that towering palace surrounded by haze, Luo Feng stepped in. "Teacher," Luo Feng said respectfully, standing within the haze. "Did you run into some trouble in 9 remoteness world?" said a gentle, placating voice. Primal Chaos City leader walked out dressed in a golden cape. Have you used that favor already? Not yet, Luo Feng answered. Oh. Primal Chaos City leader was surprised. Have you broken out? I have Mosha body now, said Luo Feng. I was trapped in 9 remoteness world, but fortunately, my Mosha body arrived in time to save me. How did he get there? Primal Chaos City leader asked. Did your Mosha body fly through the 9 remoteness whirlpool? I don't think that's possible. He went into 9 remoteness world, Luo Feng answered. Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng, perplexed. Although he had never been there before, that place belonged to 9 remoteness master. That sky and land were supposedly strictly guarded. Even universe knights might not be able to get in. My Mosha body was lucky enough to get a talent technique, domain, Luo Feng explained. Domain? Though Primal Chaos City leader was startled, he did know some universe knight level great beings of the Mosha clan who had this talent technique. After all, Mosha clan was a reproduction clan, and some of the non-classified information was already known to the outside world. A supreme being like Primal Chaos City leader naturally knew about domain. Domain is indeed impressive. Primal Chaos City leader nodded with a smile. It's quite powerful until you become a universe master. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Primal Chaos City leader was curious. Since you have Mosha body to protect you, it should be fairly easy for you to survive 9 remoteness world. After all, you're an heir of the ancestral god school, and 9 remoteness master is close to the ancestral god school. It's not likely that he'll attack you directly. Given these factors, why are you here to see me? Luo Feng took a deep breath and said, I obtained the leaf of the world tree as planned. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to breed my 3rd body. Didn't manage to? Primal Chaos City leader sighed. He felt sorry for his disciple. However, I've discovered something more interesting. Luo Feng looked at Primal Chaos City leader but hesitated. Speak, prodded Primal Chaos City leader. Luo Feng stared at Primal Chaos City leader. Allow me to ask first, what's the connection between 9 remoteness master and the 9 remoteness ocean? Primal Chaos City leader glanced at Luo Feng in shock, then said, that is a top secret in the universe, but since you've already deduced part of it, I'll tell you. 9 remoteness master is 9 remoteness ocean, and 9 remoteness ocean is 9 remoteness master. Luo Feng trembled. God! This was even more unbelievable than he thought. 9 remoteness master has always been a terrific being, Primal Chaos City leader said. He is my rival. Actually, in one-on-one combat, he's weaker than me. So what makes him my rival? Because even if I kill him, he will be resurrected very soon after. In other words, he's immortal. Luo Feng was startled. After 9 remoteness master dies, Primal Chaos City leader said, a new version comes into being. It happens every time. How terrifying is that? That's why even the ancestral god school treats 9 remoteness master with respect. Lots of issues that the beast gods can't deal with are left to him. He paused, then went on. Nothing can be kept a secret forever, I suppose. Lots of great beings study why universe masters can be revived so quickly. After all, it should take a long time to resurrect such a powerful godly body. It has been discovered that each time he dies, 9 remoteness ocean gives birth to a new 9 remoteness master. 9 remoteness ocean is his endless source. Primal Chaos City leader continued, back when this was first discovered, it merely confirmed a special relationship between 9 remoteness ocean and 9 remoteness master. However, something momentous then occurred, which spread the name of 9 remoteness master throughout the entire universe. He killed a universe master. Because of a certain true treasure, 2 universe knights of the demon race jointly hunted 9 remoteness master and chased him to 9 remoteness ocean. 9 remoteness master dove into the ocean and vanished. At the same time, the entire ocean started to burn, burning boundless godly power. The entire ocean burned? Luo Feng was dazed. That's right, said Primal Chaos City leader. The entire ocean was burning. Apparently, 9 remoteness master was enraged and used all his power to burn the entire ocean. It was so forceful that it suppressed the true treasures carried by both of the universe masters of the demon race and annihilated a universe master instantly. As for the other one, he escaped using his true treasure. The dead universe master was called Kang Yang Master. The one who survived is Master of Sky Wolf. Luo Feng gaped at Primal Chaos City leader. Some other great beings were following them and tried to take advantage of the situation, Primal Chaos City leader went on. They witnessed everything, and word spread. Other supreme beings knew, after that fight, that 9 Remoteness Master and 9 Remoteness Ocean are one and the same. As long as 9 Remoteness Ocean exists, 9 Remoteness Master is immortal. Within 9 Remoteness Ocean, he is invincible. This video will end here.